Wow. If I had even one shred of respect for you before this, it's gone now.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times Brian Griffin got what he deserved on Family Guy.
You want to maybe just go?
Quagmire, come on, I'm really trying hard here.
Who asked you to try hard?
Nobody.
For this list, we'll be looking at episodes where Brian got a dose of karma for his bad actions. Since these examples are related to the plots, there's a spoiler alert. What's your favorite moment where Brian got his comeuppance? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Getting banned from his favorite bar.
Wait a minute. Listening to other people's nightmares is my worst nightmare! Oh, thank God. I gotta shut down that cat place.
When Quagmire opens a cat cafe, Brian stages a protest where he cites it as a public health hazard in an attempt to have it shut down. But it's not the issue of hygiene he's concerned about so much as there are now a bunch of cats next to his favorite bar. And he's, a dog. Though Brian is able to convince the city to shut down Quagmires Cafe, it's a short-lived victory. The health concerns of animals in public establishments spread far enough to result in him getting banned from the bar.
What? You gotta be kidding me!
Well, that's all right, Brian. We can go to my writing spot. Brian, look at my jump! Look at my jump! Look at my jump! Whoa!
His moral outrage tends to be selective and self-serving, so it's a nice change whenever it's used against him.
Brian, is this all because you haven't been able to get a drink?
I haven't been able to go anywhere. No dogs allowed in public places.
Number 9. Being forced to stay in a relationship.
Oh, cool. I like your tattoo.
Oh, that? Yeah, that's the hormone monstrous.
In this episode, Brian starts dating a carnival worker named Amber. Even though he had already mentioned breaking things off, when Amber is the one to go through with it, Brian takes the rejection personally as he sees himself as better than carny folk.
What? You're breaking up with me?
Whoa, dumped by a carny. Brutal.
Rather than letting it go and moving on with his life, Brian decides to win Amber back so that he can dump her on his terms. However, just as things are working out in Brian's favor, Amber's uncle comes by and adds a layer of complication to the second half of the plan.
Oh my gosh, Uncle Earl, you gotta meet my new boyfriend, Brian.
Good to meet you, Brian. But don't you break her heart, you hear?
Brian could have made a clean break with a woman who isn't good for him, but his snobbiness ends up screwing him over. Number 8. Being made a fool of by Peter.
Oh, finally, another reader in the family. These are some of my favorite books and authors. Oh, what are you reading right now?
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm sort of between books.
In the early seasons, Brian was portrayed as an intellectual who was usually the voice of common sense despite his flaws. However, starting at around season 4, he's gradually become more of a pseudo-intellectual who isn't nearly as smart as he lets on.
You could study tonight, and I think if you really work at it...
Lois, it's over, all right? I'm not going.
When Peter takes up reading as a hobby, Brian virtue signals to make it appear like they're both readers. But when Peter puts Brian on the spot by asking him to reveal what he's read lately, Brian starts umming and awing.
I'm actually rereading a lot of stuff. Yeah, like what?
Just tap out.
The classics, going back to the basics, really. Words on the printed page. Thank you, Steve Gutenberg, right? What is this, oak?
Oh, I don't even think it's oak.
Peter is possibly the dumbest character on the show, so it's especially humiliating to be called out so brutally by him. Number 7. Getting his teeth knocked out. After Brian takes a job as a real estate agent, he tries to trick Quagmire into buying a dilapidated condo.
All I can say is, underpriced waterfront property that's guaranteed to appreciate in value. That's all I can say. Oh, wait, are you bothered by sorority noise, though?
The messed up thing is that Brian was able to get his job because of a set of teeth that Quagmire was nice enough to help him get. So this is a terrible way to pay Quagmire back.
This is a dump!
Well, maybe it's still got a nice ocean view.
The harbor is poisoned. Damn it, Brian screwed me!
When Quagmire realizes that he's stuck in the condo, he knocks out Brian's teeth. In the end, Brian is left without his teeth or his job, and he has no one to blame but himself for being a complete scoundrel.
It was a lot tougher than I thought.
Oh, yeah, it's real hard being a real estate agent. I mean, you gotta be able to count bathrooms.
I once beat a real estate agent in a game of chess. Me, a well-known buffoon.
Number 6. Having his tail cut off. Brian dates a sweet blind girl named Kate, but unfortunately, he finds out that she hates dogs.
God, I hate dogs.
You do?
Yeah, they're just slobbery, annoying, needy little bastards.
Instead of being honest with her and telling her that, whoops, he's a dog, Brian pretends to be human and takes advantage of her disability to win her heart. During a dinner with Kate and her parents, Brian goes to great lengths to conceal his canine identity, with the help of Stewie.
Oh my God, I am so sorry.
It's no problem. Don't worry about it.
What's that smell? It smells like wet dog in here.
When his wagging tail threatens to give him away, Stewie, solves the problem. Brian could have avoided this pain if he had just been honest and upfront with this girl. If they don't like you for who you are, they're not the one.
You know what, Brian? I could have gotten over the fact that you're a dog, because I really do care about you, and I feel like we had a connection. But I can't get over the fact that you lied to me.
Number 5. Getting proven in court to be dumb. After Brian learns that Stewie has written a book about him and portrays him as dumb, he decides to sue Stewie for defamation.
You wrote a whole children's book series about me, and you made me look like a total idiot. Look, you gotta call the publisher and have these books recalled.
Not a chance, Brian. All I'm doing is presenting you honestly to the public.
The truth is an absolute defense in U.S. law. So when Stewie is able to prove that Brian is an idiot in the courts, Brian ends up losing the case.
I'll never forgive you.
Who are you kidding, Brian? You're a dog. I'm gonna walk out that door, come back in, and you'll just be excited to see me.
Hey, you're back. Oh, man, I feel like you've been gone forever. Hey, watch me spin around. Whoa.
While it would be humiliating to have such a status solidified in an official setting, Brian's been acting high and mighty about his intelligence for years. So this kind of feels like justice well deserved. And justice it is. In any case, he certainly didn't help himself by acting like a regular dog when he took the stand.
On December 1st, 1951, Treat Williams was born.
Where? Where's the treat?
Thank you. I will now read the entry for Christopher Walken.
Walk? Go for a walk?
This dog is dumb.
Number 4. Being confronted by all of his ex-girlfriends. Brian hasn't had much luck in finding a fulfilling romantic relationship, with the closest being the one he had with Jillian.
Boy, you know, I gotta tell you, Jillian, this move is really working out great. It just feels right, you know?
Cool! Rock on, Brian!
Okay, done.
In this Valentine's Day episode, Stewie tries to get to the heart of Brian's problem with women by inviting all of his ex-girlfriends to gather together in the same room.
You are here because you have all dated this great guy. Yet somehow things didn't work out. My objective is to figure out why.
I don't know, the word self-absorbed comes to mind.
And pretentious.
Definitely pretentious.
And he's got a big ego.
As awkward as such a situation would be, it is a fitting way to confront Brian with his past troubles. The girlfriends list several of Brian's faults, many of which are on point, and Brian becomes defensive is probably the right word here. Needless to say, it doesn't go over well.
Get him!
Number 3. Being humiliated on Bill Maher's talk show. If there's one thing that Brian is insecure about, it's his track record as a writer. When he finally gets a bestseller published, the success goes to his head and he becomes completely insufferable.
How do you think I feel walking out of the back room of a restaurant and seeing Renee Zellweger eating in the front room of that restaurant? I am mortified. Absolutely mortified. You should know better than this.
To plug his new book, Brian goes on Real Time with Bill Maher. But his appearance on the show turns into a disaster when Bill Maher and the guests start picking apart the concept of Brian's book.
It just so happens that separation of church and state is something I'm actually going to cover in my next book, God, period, damn it.
What does that mean?
Brian looks up to Bill Maher, so he's pretty devastated when Maher doesn't like him. The moral of the story is, never meet your heroes, especially if you only do it by being a fraud.
Wow. If I had even one shred of respect for you before this, it's gone now.
Number 2. almost getting made into a protein shake. To make some money, Brian and Stewie look into investing into a protein shake company. However, when they find out the shakes are made from dog meat, Stewie has the good sense to back out. But Brian remains unfazed.
This company's worth a fortune.
What? You still want to invest in this? You can't be serious.
Sorry, Stewie. Wall Street is a people-eat-dog world. Everyone knows that.
Oh my God. Brian, you've turned into a monster.
He decides to go through with doing business with the company, only to be kidnapped by them as a source of dog meat for the shake. The fact that he didn't see this coming kind of warrants the outcome, honestly. This is a low moment for him. His greed almost costs him his life.
I'm so sorry, Stewie. I guess I just lost my head.
Well, lesson learned, Brian. Money doesn't buy happiness. This does.
Life is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Being on the receiving end of Quagmire's rant. When Brian finds out from Peter that Quagmire doesn't like him, he invites Quagmire to dinner, hoping to charm him over. However, Brian ends up asking why Quagmire doesn't like him and gets a long-winded rant that lists all of his faults.
You are the worst person I know. You constantly hit on your best friend's wife. The man pays for your food and rescued you from certain death, and this is how you repay him?
The rant is devastating, especially coming from Quagmire of all people, who, up to that point, was portrayed as a shallow libertine. What Quagmire said must have stung, because they have shared a fierce rivalry ever since.
I don't buy them a copy of Catcher in the Rye and then lecture them with some 7th grade interpretation of how Holden Caulfield is some profound intellectual. He wasn't. He was a spoiled brat, and that's why you like him so much. He's you. God, you're pretentious.
The rant was another sign from the universe that Brian should work on himself, but, of course, he doesn't. He'd probably scoff at the idea of signs from the universe anyway.
That's the worst of it, Brian. You're just a big, sad, alcoholic bore. I'll see you, Brian.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.